Hi, this is Suzette Allen, and I want to show you how easy it is to use the Fairy Princess Children's templates. This is a sample of some of the pages populated with these cute little pictures of Cassie. I want to show you how to do that. So let me go over to the folder of all the images. There will be a contact sheet on here showing all the different designs, and then you'll have all of the templates. Now there's going to be a baby announcement. Usually there's two sides or two different versions, and then it has the rest of the layouts. Now it looks like there's two of each, and that's because each one of them is shown as a PSD and a JPEG. That way, if you're looking at them in a different program other than Photoshop, and you're not able to see what the PSD looks like, there's a JPEG there so you can see what it is. Since I'm looking at it in my bridge, I can see both versions. So I'm just going to flip through here. Lots of pink designs, and then there's the other color. These are in lavender. Now the lavender ones actually have a color adjustment layer in them so you can change it to another color. So let's populate a couple of them. They're very easy to do using the clipping mask. First we're going to populate this one, the 10 by 10 with 3 images. Once I have my images open, I usually do Control or Command minus to make them smaller so I can see them all, and helps me design my layout and spread them out just a little bit. I think I want this one for the big image. So on my template, if you notice how this is made up, we have a background and then we have a background copy, that's the pink layer, and then all the wings are in a group. So I can have wings or not by turning off the visibility. And then here's my 3 layers that I clip an image to. I'm going to choose Clip 3. And notice any image that's a placeholder is red. So I'm going to choose Clip 3 so that when I take my image and using the Move tool, I drag it in, it comes in directly above layer 3. And that's what I want. So now I'm going to do Control-Alt-G or Command-Option-G, and the long cut is Layer, Create Clipping Mask right there. But look what happened. The whole image is there, but you can only see where the placeholder exists. So now I have to take my image and Control or Command-T to transform, hold my Shift key, and I'm going to size her down so that she looks good in the window. And I'll just resize, reposition. As long as the picture is bigger than the placeholder, I'm good. Now, if my picture is smaller, see how the gray placeholder hangs out? Make sure that your picture is bigger than the placeholder. That looks great right there. See how easy that is? So I'm finished with that image. Now let's take this image, and I want to put it in this placeholder. So with the Move tool, I make sure I'm on Auto Select Layer. So all I have to do is touch that layer and see how it grabbed it. Now I could manually choose the one I want, but if I choose Auto Select Layer, it does it for me. It's much simpler. So I choose Clip 1, I pick my image, I drag it in, Control or Command Option G, and now it's clipped. Control T to transform. Now look, my corner handle's off the screen where I can't see them. So I'm going to use Control or Command 0. That way it shows my pasteboard and all the handles, so I can actually size my image down and I can see the whole thing. There we go. That is much better. That's so cute. Now, Control or Command 0 shows it big again. Let's do the next image. So I'm going to drag this next one in, and I'm purposely not going to pay attention to which layer I'm on. Look what happened. See, I drug it in up here, layer 3, but it needs to be right above this placeholder. So if you drag one in and you clip it, and whoops, it's gone, it didn't do what you wanted it to do, unclip, Control-Alt-G, the same command, and then move it down. So I'm just going to move it down in my layer stack right above placeholder number 2, clip 2, and then clip it again. Control-Alt-G, clips it right to my placeholder, Control-T, and I'm going to size it down, and now it's working great. So that's all you need to do. Enter to accept. And there you go. It's a finished template. Isn't that beautiful? Now, if by chance the background color, the pink, is the wrong color, you can go to the pink layer, and then you can add an adjustment layer of hue saturation, And then you can change it to be a little more peachy or a little more purple or whatever you want just by sliding that slider. You can make it a little hotter pink if you want to increase the saturation. So you can do anything you want. Very easy, isn't it? So that looks cute, but not too crazy about the lavender. I would like to have a little bit of yellow in there. So I'm going to take this adjustment layer, which is the hue saturation. If I turn it off, it goes back to pink, the original color. But if I double click on this little graph, it lets me change it. Let me make this a little bigger so you can see it. So now I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to change the hue to something a little more yellow. Well, we've got green, and we don't really find yellow in this whole spectrum, do we? Well, let me show you the trick to that. If you can just get something sort of close, like that's kind of beigey, and if you take the saturation up, wow, there we go. Now that's more the yellow that we're looking for. So now I can change the color and get a nice sunny little yellow. Maybe take down the saturation a little bit. That's more like it. So that's how easy it is to change the hue and saturation with an adjustment layer. And the great thing about that is you can turn it off anytime, you can change it anytime. It's a great way to do it. Now, I actually like the lavender trim and the lavender text, but what if you don't really want lavender? Let's say you want it to be brown or something like that. Here's a great trick. If you go to the text group and turn down the arrow, here's all the text layers. You can actually select all 4 text layers by holding Shift and clicking the top and the bottom. So we have all of them selected. Go over to the Type tool and highlight it. Now don't click on any text to activate it. Just have them selected, have the Type tool active. You can click right here on the color, and let's change it to something like chocolate brown and say OK. In 2 seconds, the whole thing is changed all to the same color. Isn't that great? All 4 of those layers. Now the edge around the picture is still lavender. So I'm going to go to my clip 1 and double click on there to open up my layer styles. Now the stroke right here is where the lavender is. So I'm going to click on that lavender color button. Then I'm just going to mouse over and click on the color of the text. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see better. And click right on the color of that text to match it. Say OK and OK. And now it matches. Pretty easy, huh? So that's all it takes to customize this to match the color of your image. And of course, if you want to change the text, you just highlight your text to change the names or whatever. And then if you want to take away the little butterflies, if you want something different, you can always turn off the wings layer and add anything you like. This is easy, isn't it? Visit Shop Suzette and see new stuff all the time.